When I moved to Canada in 2009, the image that I had of Canada was one of multiculturalism and economic opportunities. This is how Canada has branded itself internationally. Now, fast forward 2015, the Truth and Reconciliation Commission releases this report, Calls to Action. Call number 93 emphasizes on the fact that there is a need to educate newcomers on the history of Canada, an inclusive history, and there's specific mention on residential schools and treaties. This is because newcomers know little to nothing about Indigenous people and the connection to the land and their culture. So take Winnipeg as a case study. Winnipeg is one of the largest urban Indigenous communities. It also has a growing newcomer community. The two communities, generally speaking, share a lot in common, specifically a similar colonial encounter or history of colonialism, cultural, spiritual, traditional, communal values. The challenges that both face in terms of socioeconomics, so housing, healthcare, unemployment, so these issues. Now, despite these similarities, which is perhaps unknown by the two communities, there seems to be a lack of interconnectedness between the two, social distance, sometimes negative perceptions, and even tensions. So my research attempts to address this issue in two ways. First, I believe that there are four key players, and they have to play a collaborative role. So faith-based institutions, Indigenous community organizations, the settlement sector, so organizations serving newcomers, and grassroots-led initiatives. So there is a need to work collaboratively. Secondly, I believe there is a need to work on a comprehensive orientation toolkit, which will not only have information on the history and culture and values, but also it will have a experiential component, which is, I think, quite important, so that the two communities can engage, and specifically a focus on creative art, so storytelling, things like that, from an Indigenous perspective, have good potential for mutual healing and openness. So what is the way forward? The way forward is to collaborate with Indigenous leaders and knowledge keepers. And Winnipeg, due to its city dynamics, has a really good opportunity and unique advantage to work on this. And if this is taken seriously, there is a potential for this to sort of carry on nationally. Thank you.